Daylight, my MVVs, welcome.
Yes, sir, my people. Akure was agog with celebration. Celebration of victory. How Ooni of Ife, and Akure women honored Queen Naomi's Thanksgiving after her court acquittal. It was not a small something that happened, though. They said, yesterday was something else, okay? In Akure, they said the city of Akure had been agog with celebration as dignitaries, traditional rulers, and well-wishers from all over Yoruba land gathered to honor Queen Naomi Ogunsi, the cherished soulmate of the Ooni of Ife. The atmosphere was eccentric with joy, a stark contrast to the dark days when Queen Naomi faced tribulation wrongly, of course, accused of things that she did not do. Now, one might want to ask, okay, what were the things that she did not do? We are all aware of what happened during the stampede in December in Ibadan. On the 18th of December, I would never forget that day because that day I cried so much. I felt so bad that day. Okay? And when the issue was taken to court, a lot of people came to testify against Olori Naomi, that as a matter of fact, Naomi was there. If not for the fact that the time, she had even announced that time on radio, the evidence was there and all of that. I don't know. And, as God will have it, she was acquitted, okay? Now, the echoes of her struggle still linger in the hearts of those who love her. It was in Ibadan that Queen Naomi found herself entangled in a turbulent storm, the result of orchestrated plot meant to tarnish her image after the tragic stampede had shook the city. Fingers were pointed at her in a bid to bring her down. Alone and in pain, she bore the weight of accusations and betrayal, subjected to endless scrutiny and the harsh realities of a system determined to silence her. As she battles this hardship, whispers of mockery spread within the palace. Okay, the Ooni of Ife's other wife, believing this was the final chapter for Queen Naomi, rejoiced in secret, convinced that her fall was imminent. They took delight in the thought that she had been erased from Ooni's heart. Oblivious to the undeniable truth, she was and always would be the soulmate of the revered monarch. Now, if you have been following the story, you do know what has been happening between Ooni of Ife and Olori Naomi. And it's been back and forth and all of that. But God is showing us that, look, He is God. His time is different from our time. Now, despite the distance and the weight of expectation, the Ooni of Ife never wavered in his silent devotion to Queen Naomi. He followed her trials with, heart burdened by sorrow, knowing that she was enduring injustice behind the sacred walls of, that incarceration now, that place where she was. He remained steadfast, ensuring that forces loyal to him worked tirelessly to see justice served. It was his silent hand that moved mountains, ensuring that the truth prevailed. Today, we celebrate the Ooni of Ife for his love and care, and for being such a great king, a good king, a king with the best heart in the world. When the court finally pronounced her acquittal, it was not just a legal victory, it was a spiritual triumph, a sign that destiny could never be altered by mere mortal hands. Queen Naomi had emerged victorious, her integrity intact, her honor restored, okay? On the day of that Thanksgiving, they said it was yesterday, Akure stood still. The people of the ancient kingdom of Ile-Ife went to Akure, led by the royal council and traditional chief, gathered to celebrate their beloved queen's triumph. It was a sight to behold. Dancers in their traditional regalia, drums beating, the air thick with the scent of incense and joy. Akure women, her king's folk, arrived in large number, cloud in white and gold, a symbol of purity and strength. They sang praises of Queen Naomi, declaring her a daughter of grace, a woman of resilience whose destiny, no one could alter. Okay, as Queen Naomi stepped into the grand hall, adorned in regalia attire, the crowd erupted in cheers. She was not just a woman who had survived adversity. She was a living testimony to divine favor. Her presence alone commanded reverence, her aura untouchable by envy or malice. Among the guests were high-ranking chief, traditional rulers, and dignitaries, all there to pay homage to the one true soulmate of the Ooni of Ife. Even those within the palace who had once doubted her, had no choice but to acknowledge that she was indeed a woman of grace. Now, as we are hearing, though they had once believed that her trials marked her end, the other wives of the Ooni of Ife watched in silence as Queen Naomi, basks in the glory of her vindication. Their celebration had been premature, for the one had never strayed from his chosen one. The energy of the event made it clear Queen Naomi's place in history was unthinkable, and her connection to Ooni of Ife eternal. As the event drew to a close, the Ooni himself sent words of blessing, affirming that justice had been served. His presence loomed large over the celebration, even in absence, for his heart had always remained with his true queen. Queen Naomi's Thanksgiving was not just a celebration of victory, it was a statement. Dela Wright, it was a statement indeed, a statement that no amount of opposition could erase destiny. It was a clear message to those who had plotted against Queen Naomi that no force on earth could sever the divine connection she shared with the Ooni of Ife. As the drum of celebration faded into the night, one thing remained clear: Queen Naomi had emerged stronger, brighter, and even more revered than ever. And no matter how many storms came her way, she would always stand tall, knowing that she was she was forever going to remain the soulmate of the Ooni of Ife. Queen Naomi is a great woman of strength. God has blessed her. No matter what they do, no matter what they try, how much they try to bring her down, Queen Naomi would never, ever be moved, because God is faithful. She is a daughter of Zion. They said the Thanksgiving service that happened yesterday was like none other, that people attended the Thanksgiving, kings, queens, like they were all there to celebrate with Olori Naomi. We are all aware that Naomi has got goodwill. Naomi, people love this woman more than anything. And that is the grace of God upon Olori Naomi's life. And so, whoever says that whatever they want to do is to bring Olori Naomi down will find it very, very difficult to, go through with it, because God is always on her side. She is a child of destiny. They said you should have seen the Thanksgiving. Everybody was celebrating. The mother, the siblings, they were all celebrating, because it was glaring that the enemy wanted to pin her down, but God rescued her from the hands of the enemy. I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media. Should not be seen as fact. I appreciate you guys, Dela Wright. Happy Eid Mubarak once again.